Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen, students and affiliates, and some members also. Thank you for joining us today. We are discussing a very important topic, which I'm sure is close to the heart of many, and which is about what is your true earning potential. Why do you think there was a need to discuss this topic? Why do you think ACCA needed to create this awareness about the true earning potential of accountants? Please remember, this is not just about ACCA, this is about accountants in general also. So this message would be relevant to anyone who's thinking about becoming a professional accountant in the future. So how is the world of accounting and finance going to change? What additional skill sets are required? What is the true earning potential? Where are some of the mistakes? Now, this time I'm particularly talking about ACCA students and affiliates. What are some of the potential mistakes students and affiliates make, and even members, when they're deciding about how much salary offer or how much of a stipend offer should they accept? Is that salary or stipend linked to things other than your core accounting skill set? Is it linked to your soft skills, your professional competency, your ethics, etc.? That's what we're going to talk about today. Okay. What we're going to do is, and if we are ready, we'll have to run polls. So what we are going to do today is, first of all, we'll try to find out what are some of the expectation gaps. What do you expect to be paid with the kind of skill set that you currently have if you enter, number one, the job market or the training market? And the reason why I've mentioned both of these to you individually is because they're entirely different. The dynamics of the job market as opposed to the dynamics of a market where you're doing a training or you enter as a trainee, the dynamics are entirely different. And this is also, the session is also here to, this is being conducted to highlight what should your expectations be. So first of all, let's find out what the expectations, the true expectations are. Can you move on to the next slide, please? Can I not see the polls, because I'll just be running a few poll questions. I would want to see the responses that people are giving. And the poll questions that are there. Yes. So you can run an extended view or something. Okay, so shall we begin with the poll questions? Yeah. Shall we? All right. Now, before Khayyam launches some of these questions, what we're like I was saying to you, what we're trying to do here is to find out what your expectations are regarding your stipend, and then we look at what you're currently getting. At the same time, we look at some of the skill set that the market is expecting professional accountants or trainee accountants to have, when they offer certain kind of salary. So the first poll question aimed at affiliates and students only. And please remember, if there are any members attending this session, do not answer this question. Only affiliates and students try to answer this question. So what is your expected stipend? And the poll question appears on your screen now. Physical participants, we have one in Lahore. What do you think? Are you an affiliate or a member or a student?
Affiliate.
You're an affiliate. And how many years into the affiliate status?
Just 1 year.
1 year. Okay.
I'm just going for membership. Upcoming months, I'll finish my work experience.
Okay.
Currently I'm on job, full-time job.
Okay. Exactly, that's the point that we're trying to clarify. You said you are on job, right? Affiliates, when they are on job, they're actually join organizations as trainees. I mean, this is an extended period of your being an ACCA student, right? So your job actually begins when you become an ACCA member. At the moment,
currently my job, not because of ACCA, this is because of my other qualification. I'm 16 years education.
Okay.
And I've got that job.
All right.
Additionally.
So were you doing this job before signing up for the ACCA qualification?
Yes.
All right, so we have the answers coming up. This is about stipend expectations. What is your expected stipend? I'm surprised. Why would 12% say that their expectation is below 10,000? Okay. All right, about 8% saying that their expectations are above 70,000. Not bad.
Very close.
15 more seconds and we close this. I see the figure still changing. How many people responded?
68%.
68%. And close. Okay, let's launch the results. All right, so you see, interestingly, there are about 83 students and affiliates present in the session today, and there are some individuals sitting face to face as well. Interestingly, majority of the students and affiliates expect that their stipend should be between 25,000 rupees to 50,000 rupees. There's a small percentage that expects it to be between 50 to 70, but then interestingly, 11% think that it should be above 70,000. Now, which is quite possible, but provided you can offer the kind of skills that an individual or a business is looking for, against which they're willing to pay that kind of a salary. Okay. Fine, your technical skills are very, very important, but there are certain other skills which are very modern and which are now driving the entire accounting profession going forward. So unless you have those skills in you, right, you'll probably not be able to draw the kind of stipend that you're expecting. Now, let's move on to the next poll, the second one, which I understand is for members. Let's see if there are any members in that session. Yes. And this particular question, please, students and affiliates should not answer. If there are any members present, I'll be surprised why would members be present here, but then if there are any members present today in this session, this is only for them to answer. But you may also note here, all right, there are members present. Somebody has responded?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Please remember, this is your salary expectation. Now that we're talking about members, this is your salary coming from a job. So this should define how much do you expect to earn with the current skill set, the current situation. Okay, let's give them 20 more seconds. So clearly the session today, there are more affiliates and students present. There are only about 25% members present, I feel. I once again remind students and affiliates should not answer this question. This is only for members. Only for members. All right, I think that's it. Okay, share the results. Now, again, interesting findings. Members expect, I mean, those who are sitting in the session, expect to earn somewhere between 75,000 to 250,000. Majority of them. About 24% expect to earn more than that, and about 14% expect, I don't know why, but they would expect to earn less than that, which is surprising. I would want to expect to earn more than 750,000 rupees. Why would not have that expectation? All right, but this also very clearly gives you an idea that there is no match in the stipend levels that we are looking at as opposed to the salary levels that we are looking at. So the kind of salary members can expect, right? Of course, affiliates will not get there. And if members are drawing, and very important, drawing anywhere less than this scale, they are being underpaid, and they are probably not fully utilizing their earning potential. Similarly, if there's an affiliate who's earning over and above the previous bands, the stipend bands that we're sharing, probably doing very well. But we have to look at the future earning potential as well. So in case of affiliates or students, if they're earning a handsome stipend, they have to keep themselves relevant. They have to keep their skills at a level where those skills can draw the kind of salary that they expect to earn. All right, let's move on. I think this self-awareness is a very important factor. So if you can move on to the next slide, please. The 7 quotients. The next one, 7 quotients. That's it. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, ACCA got itself involved in a very extensive research about what are some of the new skill sets that accounting and finance professionals must develop. And by the way, this can even apply to professions other than accounting and finance as well. So any growing, budding professional going into the future, unless they have these 7 professional quotients within them, they will not be able to stay relevant. They will not be able to keep their jobs secure. And this is an eye-opener, by the way. So if you look at this whole spectrum of professional quotients, the technical and ethical competencies, they sit right in the middle, which means they are core to the to the relevance or to the continuity of your job. Now, without these technical and ethical competencies, of course, you are at a big loss. You will probably not be able to sustain. But other than that, there are 6 other quotients. So intelligence, your creativity quotient, how effectively you can react to a situation which you are required to demonstrate creativity. Your digital quotient, how attuned you are to the digital world. Are you able to use the digital technologies in whichever profession you are? And in particular, talking about accounting and finance profession also. This is, by the way, going beyond the use of plain and simple information technology software. So for example, Word, Excel, emailing, browsing, surfing, and basic ERPs. This is beyond that. So are you able to understand what fintech is? So are you able to understand how is robotics and automation going to affect businesses? So if you have that view or have that digital quotient within you, that can of course come in as an attractive element for you to earn, number one, a better job, and then a better salary. Then emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is particularly about how you connect with people, which means, of course, in a digital environment, emotional intelligence or emotional quotient would probably not be as useful. But when you're talking about working alongside peers, when you were talking about team building, when you're talking about achieving more with the help of a team, that's where the emotional intelligence comes into play. And if you're able to demonstrate those characteristics, those qualities, that is going to be a plus. Then vision quotient. How do you have that ability of looking into the future, looking at what does the future hold for, let's say, your business? How are different untowardly events expected to impact your business, risks as we call them? So are you able to visualize what kind of risks are you exposed to? What kind of business opportunities lie out there for you or your business? Are you able to visualize that? That would translate the vision quotient. And then the experience quotient, which by the way can be very easily misunderstood as the number of years spent in working, but experience quotient actually means, have you had the experience of of working in a different environment, of working in multiple sectors, of specializing particularly on certain skills, of digital, for example. So what kind of experiences do you bring along? So ACCA's research, very interesting research, sort of gives you a peek into the future of how are accountant and finance professionals going to keep themselves relevant in addition to their technical and ethical competencies. What other skills do they need to have? In the absence of these skills, of course, they will not be able to materialize their true earning potential. So, by the way, this research is available on ACCA's website. I will encourage all of you to go to the ACCA website, have a look at these quotients. I mean, the quotients do link up with the kind of expertise different ACCA papers are trying to develop. So do find that link, find out, do you have these quotients or these capabilities or these additional skill sets within you or not? If not, set yourself a target of how you need to work to achieve these quotients in the shortest possible span of time. Because this is what the job market is expecting you to have right now rather than into the future. Let's move on to the next slide. Okay. All right. Once again, I think being connected to the to ACCA, it's one of the largest accounting bodies in the world. The advantage that you can get is through the amount of research that ACCA does, mainly for its own stakeholders, but also for the profession to benefit. This is one wealth of information which is available free of cost to all our stakeholders. It doesn't carry a cost. It is very, very simple to understand and is very, very futuristic. So I will want to particularly take you through these professional insight topics, through these researches that ACC has conducted, and see how most of them are linked up with the future of the profession. The first one being the race for relevance, technology opportunities for the finance function, purely about you have to keep yourself relevant, and there is a race out there for it. And at the same time, the finance function has to adopt different technologies once again to remain very, very focused on the work. Professional insights, second topic, cyber risk management in finance. So with the advent of digital, businesses are exposed to certain new risks. So what are those risks? Are you able to identify them, mitigate them, avoid them, make your way through them, right? Make sure that your business is aware of those risks. So ACC has done a research. Artificial intelligence in finance. So I think about 18 years ago, I was a computer programmer at that time. And the world at that time was thinking about how artificial intelligence could be brought into computing technologies. But now is the time when that dream has materialized. We used to sit down and think, how can different programming languages be used to come up with softwares which can act as human mind? And believe you me, it seemed quite impossible at that time. But now, with the advent of change in technologies, these machines have been made to think like humans make at times. So very, very interesting research. And by the way, there's a session happening, a summit happening in Istanbul tomorrow at NAST, which is going to be about robotics and artificial intelligence. and our senior ACCA member Salman Zafar from Islamabad will be speaking at this event. Next one is social media in finance. And by the way, my colleague sitting here, and we were talking about, all right, so what should something new be happening at ACCA? And we said, all right, 6 offices, 6 stations, so many researchers, what can be the best use of these researchers? And this topic came about, and I'm so excited to see social media in finance. Wow, how many of you thought about, all right, advertising on Google? No, all right, something better than that. What do you call the search engine optimization? Yeah, how many finance professionals know how that is done? How many have thought about advertising on Facebook? What is click per second? Is it click through rate, CTR as they call it? Yeah. Yeah. So if a finance, so if a marketing professional comes to you and says, I want to advertise on Facebook, a certain product or a certain service, want to roll out a particular campaign, can a finance professional sitting across from him ask that individual all the relevant questions? What are the different variables? Why are you doing this? Why not that? Right? Why are we, let's suppose, targeting a particular market segment, not the other? Right? Why not advertise on LinkedIn? Why not advertise on Google? Why Facebook? So do finance professionals have it in them to understand the jargons of social media? Right? So that's very important. And this report, I'm sure, it takes you to details of how social media and finance are linked up. Robotics, process automation in finance, all right, very interesting. Artificial intelligence in finance, and then robotics in finance. And believe you me, big 4 firms in various parts of the world, I would exclude Pakistan from it at the moment, but have employed robots to conduct various audit and assurance services. So please go out there and search on how many firms have got robots in place now. But a good thinking point this will be, if robots are going to do audit and assurance work, what is there that is left for auditors, quote unquote, and accountants to do? Okay, so please try to visualize, where is this world heading? Where is the profession heading? Are we keeping ourselves abreast of all these changes? Are we equipping ourselves with all this wealth of knowledge out there, trying to figure out how do we fit into this big picture? We must do this, and ACC is providing you that advantage through all these researches. All right, very quickly, analytics in finance. How to make sense of the data that's out there. There's so much of data that every organization, every individual produces. Integration and acquisition, the role of modern day finance function. Yeah. And then lifting the cloud, and finally CFO's guide to technology road mapping. And we've just picked up some very, very topical and modern researches. And believe you me, there are huge loads of researches available on ACCA's website. All at the click of a button, all free of cost, all that can give you a very, very wide vision into the future and can help you, number one, have this understanding of what additional skills do you need to have. Some of these providing you with those skills. And number 3, therefore, heading towards a situation where you're able to, through the demonstration of this knowledge that you have, you're able to claim more rewards, claim a better salary, claim a better stipend, right? The important thing is, if you're getting into the habit of reading, only then you will develop these skills. Let's move on. Now, this is a very interesting diagram or on the pictures actually of how is this evolution around computing taking place. So from the time when pen and paper and calculators used to be the tools available to accounting and finance professionals, to the time Excel spreadsheets became very popular, and by the way, we're still sort of glued on to Excel sheets, and the minute you sort of roll out a training in Excel, all of a sudden there's a door crashing rush outside your gates, surprisingly. But my dear friends, the world has moved on. Excel, old computing softwares, they would only give you the business picture maybe once every quarter, once every half yearly, once every year, annually, right? So on and so forth. And if you're particularly looking for specific information from this scattered data, the way it is kept in worksheets, it's not an easy job. There are many people who have to work on it day and night in order to extract certain amount of information. But the world has, like I said, moved on. Now people are looking for real-time data. People are looking for real-time cash flow situation, real-time inventory situation, right? They're looking at real-time profitability of their business, right? So if you're able to, number one, like I said, you're able to have this understanding of the need for developing these skills within you, and then you're able to demonstrate it to other people that, look, this is what I can offer to you. Right? Only then they will be able to reward you the way you expect to be rewarded. Now just put yourselves in the position of a business owner for a minute. Just consider that you're an entrepreneur and limited budget, a very good business idea you've just rolled out. Now you're thinking of hiring an accounting and finance professional, and you want somebody to take care of your finance needs and finance reporting, and also advise you on where are some good opportunities, right? So just imagine what kind of money will you be willing to pay to what kind of an individual. I think about 4 years ago, I was talking to a senior official at Packages, and this individual, he said he was hiring ACCAs even at that time. Packages is an old ACCA approved employer, has been hiring ACCA trainees all along. He said to me, look, Harun, bring me an ACCA affiliate or a student who can come to me every morning and tell me, look, this is what SECP has changed. This is how our business is going to be impacted by it. This is a new regulation or a new SRO by the FBR. We have to change the way we are working right now. Bring me that individual, and I will guarantee a job to that individual right away. And this was about 4 or 5 years ago. He said ACCA trainees are excellent with their knowledge and skills, but that passion of going out there and grabbing out more information or extracting more information or being on top of things, that is a unique skill. That was 4 years ago. And like I always say, the world has moved on. Now we are looking at real-time information. He was talking about bring me information from outside. Now we're talking about bring me information from my business as it is happening right now. I want information which is current and updated. I don't want outdated information. I want to make a decision, and I do not want to make a wrong decision based on wrong information. And when it comes to that, they're looking for people who are able to produce reliable, modern, up-to-date, real-time information. Let's move on. Okay, it's a very interesting term, race for relevance. And how many participants do we have?
Almost 98.
98. Can you lower all the hands?
One.
Can you lower all the hands? Okay, I'm going to ask this question, but for that, hands low कर दें. Attendees पे जाके. Attendees पे जाएं. Yeah, all down. Yeah, this one, yeah, that's right. Okay, now Question only for those people who have microphones attached to their computers. Please raise hands only. Okay. All right. What do you understand by this term, race for relevance? Raise hands. For raising hands, of course, you can't sit in front of the computer and raise your hand. You'll not be able to see. There's a key available there. It says raise hand. Just click there. Do we have, or if sort color raise hands? इसी पे click करें. Click again. Yeah, there you go. All right. We have 4 people willing to answer. So let's begin with Assis Malik. Assis, if you are ready, we are going to unmute your mic. Please make sure there isn't too much noise in the background, or if people are shouting around you or your children shouting, maybe ask them to be quiet for a second. So, looking for an answer to the term race for relevance. Unmute the mic, please. Yes, Assis, can you tell us? Are we connected?
Hello.
Yes, Assis, we can all hear you. Can you tell us what is your understanding of the term race for relevance?
Yes, like with our professional approach and customized, like we will benefit from the proven methods and best practice that will be prepare us to succeed in comparison with others or peers.
Okay. So what I understood from your answer was, number 1, you said competition. Number 2, you said
Yeah.
succeed. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, key
Yes.
terms. If I'm picking up the key terms from your answer. So
Yes.
succeed.
These three are from our
Competition.
peers.
What else?
From our peers. These 3 things.
What did it say? Can you repeat the last word?
I'm saying like that the 3 terms you said, like succeed and benefit from the proven best practices from our peers. That is the race for relevance.
From our peers.
The
All
3
right.
terms.
Okay, all right, all right.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Assis. Let's move on. Javed Sultan, if you're ready, we are going to unmute you. Unmuting in 3, 2, 1. Yes, Javed, are you there? Javed, we can hear you. Can you speak up? Just tell us about relevance. I think Javed is not able to hear us. Let's move on to Saad bin Khalid. Saad, if you are ready, we're just going to unmute your mic. Okay. Unmute. Self-muted. All right. Okay. Any other offices? Do we have people from Karachi?
Can you? Hello?
Yes, Saad, we can hear you. Go on.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, my
Relevant.
point for relevance is that I believe that what you've pointed out, that the robotics and the automation are taking place very rapidly in the current changing technological world. So what I believe is that there is a huge outflow of professional accountants coming from different accountancy bodies all over the world, and the relevant ones would only be those who have some extra skill set, particularly, for example, machine learning and AI and analytics, and who understand the big data and different stuff like that that is new to the world right now. So those who have these skills and who are actually running towards that would be the ones who will stay relevant. Otherwise, you know, just like in the past, there was a huge count of BBS coming out and they were all jobless at a particular time. Similarly, BCS was once a very relevant field, but it got outdated very quickly in a span of 5 or 8 years because there was a huge count of it. So those who kept on, continuously, kept on updating their skill set, stayed relevant. So that's what I believe is the race for relevance, to keep on updating yourself with the new technological
Perfect.
changes that are coming ahead.
Very, very appropriate. I think, Saad, you've nailed it. Just one aspect, and that is, I mean, you've described the term relevance very, very well. So you keep
Thank you very much.
relevant by acquiring new skills, by making sure that you're digitally enabled. But that's that one term, that is that there is a race out there for it, which means everybody is trying to get into this race, and you have to stay ahead of everybody else. If you're slow in acquiring these skills, if you're not thinking about acquiring these skills now, as in now, not even tomorrow, right? You are already late in this race. You're not a first starter, not an early starter, which means the chances of winning this race are going to grow dim as the time passes by, which means you have to be on the lookout, number one. Number two, you have to stay ahead of others. You have to stay ahead of the curve. Otherwise, the technological changes are such that today they're talking about robotics, tomorrow they'll be talking about something else, right? Day after tomorrow, they'll be talking about something very, very new, right? And you would have lost the bus by then. So that is what, the element of race in it gives you a sense of competition, a sense of staying ahead of others. So that is what it's all about. Now let's ask more questions. Can we go back to the poll questions? All right. Before we go on, let's ask this particular question. How do you compare your skill set with other accounting and finance professionals? And this is very relevant to the topic we're discussing also, race for relevance. So this is a race between, not just between different accounting bodies or members of different accounting bodies, or students and affiliates of different accounting bodies. This is a race between your own selves also. These 100 people listening to us right now, these people sitting in different offices of ACCA right now, what do you think? How do you compare your skills with what is available in the market? And by the way, this decision has to be taken not just with a belief, oh fine, I believe I am better than others. It has to be based on information also. So do you know the person sitting next to you, or do you know the person sitting in this webinar may know more than you? Yeah. So rate yourself appropriately. Yeah. And immediately I see the figures changing. People starting to rate themselves worse, worse than others. Okay, brilliant.
We have a participant here, if he can also come.
What do you think?
At par.
At par, okay.
With the passage of time, the experience I've got from diversified industries, so I can think I'm at par in my current job.
In your current job, okay, all right. I think let's give them 10 more seconds. And stop. And let's show the results. Now, the interesting factor is that while, the results are in front of you, the interesting fact is that while you're thinking that you're better than others, others may be thinking that they're worse off. So they may be putting an effort to supersede you, right? So all, even during this time, people thinking about how to improve their skill set, right? So this is not a very static situation. If you're saying you're better than others, tomorrow the situation may have changed already, and without even you realizing, which means the rabbit and the tortoise, that situation.
Yeah.
The rabbit thought that he was better, right? And never did he knew that the tortoise is going to supersede. It was continuously crawling up, and then okay. So exactly that situation. So I think the first thing to do is you have to think if you really are better off, and if you are, I'm very glad if you would be, but you have to keep it that way. You can't let it slip out, okay? Which means you have to continue to invest in yourselves. And for that, you don't have to look far away. You have to look at these huge number of resources that ACCA has provided you. Beginning with your student accountant, beginning with the research articles that I was talking about, right? Beginning with the amount of data and information that is being thrown at you literally at your workplace, right? So think about those things. All right, let's move on to the next question, which is, all right, current stipend, we will do that later. Years of experience do you have? We do that later as well. Which additional skills do you specialize in? Let's do this one. Okay, I'm going to ask this question. So if you think you're better off, or if you think you're at par, which of these additional skills do you already have? These are specializations that you would have done. So do you think you have ERP or IT skills better than others? Do you think you have taxation skills better than others? Local laws, knowledge about local laws better than others? Or some other skills that you think? It could be, I don't know, maybe soft skill or something.
What would you comment? Sorry, what's your
I'm
answer?
currently working in taxation and local laws. In my previous two jobs, I have worked with different types of taxes prevailing in the country. So I'm good at taxes and local laws.
Excellent, excellent. Can we have that screen back?
So
I think
I'm also working on IT audit. I'm currently pursuing for CISA.
Okay.
Recently I've finished the coaching and
Okay.
I'm planning for the exam.
okay. Perfect. Okay, let's give them 15 more seconds at the same time. Let's talk about another ACCA research that tells us, which are some of the skills from here which are definitely going to be there in the future. So if you talk about bookkeeping and accounting, etc., of course they're going to be eradicated. Yeah. But one thing that probably remain there as very relevant for accounting and finance professionals is taxation. But increasingly, taxation is not going to be limited by geographies and boundaries. Right? It's not going to be Pakistan's, income tax ordinance only in isolation. No. If I can buy things from AliExpress today, from Google, from Amazon, from God knows where, how is that going to be impacted by taxes? Which country is going to apply taxes? Who is going to pay those taxes? Am I going to pay those taxes, or is Google going to pay taxes to my government for making a sale here? Yeah, sure. You're going to say something?
In US, yesterday I was reading an article. There are different rates of indirect tax, sales tax in different states.
Of course, in the US.
It ranges from 14 to 18%.
Yeah.
There is somewhere it is 16.8% on same service.
Yeah.
Somewhere it is 17, somewhere it is 15. So it is changing even in a single country.
True, very right. But more importantly, countries like India, countries in the UK, of course, they've already taxed Google, for example. Has Pakistan thought about that? Do you think our professionals in Pakistan or the tax regulator is thinking on those lines? I don't think so. And that's where the future is going to be. By the way, mark my words, cross-border taxation is going to be a very relevant additional skill in the future. All right, can we share the results of this?
Yes.
Okay, now this is very interesting, very important, and an eye-opener. We're all working in Pakistan, but only about 2% of those who are present here. 2% would mean exactly 2 people, isn't it? They know about local laws. Vital, critical. I mean, I can't imagine hiring an individual and going to hand over my entire business, my own wealth, entire wealth, to an individual who doesn't know local laws. So important, so critical. Number 2, taxation. I mean, and imagine these are the 2 lower ones, 18% and 2%. More people are interested in ERP, which is good, which is the future. More people interested in IT, or they have additional skills in IT, very relevant. And 44% have other skills. Now, as long as you feel those other skills that you possess are also relevant and are going to make you stand apart from the rest in a good way, only not in a bad way. It's not good to, let's suppose, in programming languages, when I used to do programming, there used to be a language called COBOL, Photon, Pascal. I can't imagine people programming in those languages anymore. So yes, I stand out because I know COBOL, but that's not standing out in a good way. That's like antiquated. So as long as those additional skills that you have are relevant, right? Make sure you use them, to your benefit, to use them to demonstrate to your employer that yes, you can bring about value to the business. All right, let's move on. Okay, I think, can we have a look at the poll questions once again and then move on to this next slide? I think let's do this one as well. No. Do you fairly understand the following terms and their relevance to business? Exactly. So let's test your knowledge once again about additional skills. Okay. So we've thrown some terms on your screens. Can you please tell us which of these terms are you familiar with, and do you understand if they are relevant to the businesses?
Can people pick multiple?
Yes, people can pick multiple options.
So I pick all.
Really? Even the last one?
Yeah.
Really?
What's yours?
Big data.
Okay.
Second one, intelligence.
But big data is
Integrated reporting?
it's combined with fintech.
It's the same thing. We're sort of clubbing them to because we could only have 5 different options. So we've clubbed a few.
And fourth one, venture capital and startups.
Yeah, that's also very important. The other day I was talking to a professor at LUMS, and he was telling us about the new trends within the students of LUMS, new trends about jobs. And he said, and he's a senior individual and a fellow ACCA member, he's a PhD as well. He's telling us that people at LUMS are not looking for jobs anymore. I mean, they're all glued on to startups, to venture capital. I mean, to find more venture capitalists and startups. And that's going to. I mean, they're all looking towards entrepreneurship.
It's true.
Yeah. So that's a very interesting trend. I think about 10 seconds more and then we stop.
It's so refreshing to see a lot of people on seeing integrated reporting because ACCA is a champion when it comes to international landscape.
True. All right, that's it. Okay, thank you very much. Share the results. So you can see a lot of people know about integrated reporting. This is again something really, really new. Right? This is about, and only today in the morning, Junaid and I were talking about, how is financial reporting or reporting of different organizations changing? I mean, how do we want to share more and more information about the business with the investors? Right? It's not just the rear view mirror, right? It's about, what is the business looking at, right? How is the organization looking to grow this particular business for an investor to make a sensible decision? And ACCA, by the way, is a champion, and Rashid has used the right word, is a champion when it comes to integrated reporting. ACCA's own annual report includes, a portion of integrated reporting.
Yeah.
Great. All right, let's move on. The slide. Precisely. Okay. All right, here's a slide in front of you, a very, very important one. This is a performance band. So stolen the thunder, but all right, this is a performance band. Okay. This is a band at which you will, let's suppose, you will rate employees in your organization. Once again, you have your entrepreneurship hat on. You've hired individuals. Some of them are average performers, some are good performers, and some are outstanding performers. Who do you think, of course, who do you think will fetch what kind of a reward? What kind of a reward? Now, a very simple answer to this is, and now we can have the answers on as well. So if you can click 3 times. 3 times. Exactly. A very simple answer to that is that companies or businesses hire you not because you should give them an average performance. They hire you and they expect from you to give at least a good performance, right? So at good performance, you are just matching their expectations. They're saying, all right, we've hired an individual, good performance, we are already paying him a salary or her a salary, right? That's it. But an outstanding performer, which means going beyond the expectations of you who you're working with, only that individual will fetch extraordinary rewards. Right? So when you say growth of a professional once the job has started, the growth of that professional into the years is only going to be derived by the level of performance. If it is average performance, I would rather think about chopping off rewards. If it is who's unmuted. If it is average or average performance, it will just be, you know, yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. Please don't unmute your mics. It's going to causing us a disturbance. But you see, even a good performer derives an average or below average reward or results. It's simply because the employer thinks in his mind that, look, you know, we agreed on a certain amount of salary, and this person has just come up to our expectations, right? And therefore, whatever we are rewarding that individual with, it should be sufficient. But only when the individual is able to demonstrate outstanding performance, only then it is attached with outstanding rewards. So please, once again, when you go back, look at your performance. Are you an average performer? Are you a good performer? If you're a good performer, how can you be an outstanding performer in order to, to reap the true benefits? Move on, please. Okay, the next slide is about your progression. Is about your progression in your career. Yes, more. That's it. So the time scale. So you have the time scale represented by the arrow. Right? We all want to take pride in the work that we do, in the job that we do, in the way we live. Right? That pride can only come from the desired lifestyle. I want to have a very nice new smartphone. I want to drive a new car. I want to live in a good house. I want to have a good job, right? All this then builds in a matter of pride in you. Right? And that desired lifestyle can either come in through effort or can come in through luck, right? In most cases, it comes through effort. In very few cases, it may come through luck, but then it may go away through luck as well. Yeah. But in case of effort, right? If you put in the effort, you'll make sure you'll value it, and you'll make sure it stays there with you. And your effort or luck is based on certain decisions that you take, and those decisions are either based on your passion or your belief in those decisions, which is good, but in most cases it should be based on your information about the different facts leading you to take that decision, or the level of awareness you have in order for you to take that decision. So this is a complete life cycle, right? You take certain decisions. If you look at it the other way now, you take certain decisions based on certain information, based on your passion and belief. You make an effort, you achieve a desired lifestyle, and that is what develops a sense of pride in you. Okay? But I think the critical parts of this is that I think most of you are at in a situation where you are taking decisions, or you are putting in effort, or maybe waiting for luck to happen to you. Yeah, but I would say if you're waiting for luck, do not miss out on effort also, and that is what will get you the desired lifestyle going forward. Let's move on. A very, very important slide, the crux of today's presentation, and that is about what should you be earning right now as an individual, as an ACCA affiliate, or as a member. Okay, now this particular slide mainly shows you stipend levels and salary levels. Two very different things, by the way. Do not mix them up. One very critical mistake for those 20% members in this audience, a critical mistake that members make, and this is a caution, a word of caution for the affiliates also. A very critical mistake that they make is that while they join an organization as an affiliate, as a person who's still under training, as a person who's being paid a stipend, they continue working at the same salary level or the same stipend level even when they become a member. Right? Please remember that the minute you have completed your qualification, you have become a member. Now, do not expect that you should be paid a stipend only. You should raise your expectations right from that moment, right? And look for opportunities within the organization or outside of the organization in order to get appropriately rewarded for the skills that you have gained through your qualification. I've come across a number of members who made this mistake. Well, I was offered a job, quote unquote, the term job, when I was an affiliate, and then when I became a member, my organization did not give me any reward for having become a member, right? And therefore, I'm still working at an amount which is close to the stipend that I used to earn. My God, you're doing yourself a big damage. Yeah. Number one, again, put your entrepreneur hat on. You have hired an individual who is an ACCA affiliate or a trainee accountant for some very, very basic trivial work, which is not business critical. Of course, I, as a business owner, will not hand over business critical work to a person who's still on training, right? So I have hired an individual for some very, very basic level work, right? I make sure that, yes, the learning outcomes of that individual, as given by the accounting body, are met along the time, right? Today, or let's suppose one particular day, that individual comes to me and he says, well, congratulate me, I have become a member of my accounting body now. Fine, fantastic, congratulations. But the next question is going to be, so what more can you do for my business? What value can you bring to my business having become a member of an accounting body? And if you're able to answer that question at that very moment, I can tell you, you have opened your doors of opportunities for yourself. But if you just stay back and continue to do that basic work, which is not business critical, you continue to do that, maybe more efficiently, but you continue to do that. Why do you think a business owner will be willing to compensate you better? Yeah. So I think these are the thoughts that you should have in the back of your mind when you're looking at this game. Let's have a look at it, and let's have a very, very deep look at it. Now, first of all, we have different stipends or salary scales for different entry levels. People who've come in after metric, they get certain amount of salary, And by the way, this research was done in December 2015, so it's about 2 years old, right? So you can automatically adjust this by the inflation level, and you'll get current figures. So let's only look at people who've come into the ACCA qualification after their matriculation and they're still trainees, okay? So they enter a public practice, which means a firm of accountants, and they will probably earn somewhere between 8,000, or they should ideally earn somewhere between 8,000 to 13,000. Corporate sector, 18,000 to about 30,000. Yeah, so that's the difference. But that's stipend once again. People with this background enter as a member, a corporate sector organization mainly. I mean, we're not talking public practices here. They should earn somewhere around 75,000. What we're saying is that if you are a new member, right, with this particular background, and you're earning less than that, you need to go back to the drawing board and see where have you gone wrong. Okay? Then the goal for this individual in the next 5 years should be to cross the 300,000 rupees, the 3 lakh rupees threshold. Okay? Goal for 5 years. If 5 years into your membership, you are earning less than 300,000, again go back to the drawing board. Something went wrong somewhere. Something needs fixing somewhere, right? Maybe you're not continuously adding value to yourself. Maybe you're not continuously adding to your skill set. Next, intermediate. I think somewhat similar pay scales or stipend scales. A level, slightly rewarded higher in the corporate sector because of the soft skills that they get. Yeah? BCom and other graduates, similar to A level. Yeah? Professional accounting bodies, working professionals, and that's you, sir. The people who are already working, they have another qualification under the belt, right? If they are earning a stipend, it should be 8 to 13. If they are earning in the corporate sector, about 25 to 45. If they are new members, if they completed their ACCA qualification, 80,000 plus. And if they are 5 years into the membership, they should also be earning over 300,000 rupees. And somewhat similar outcome for people with a 4-year accredited degree program under their belt as well. All right. My next question, which is a poll question. Can we go back to the question on actual salaries now? Okay. What is your current stipend? Come on, yes. Okay, we are launching a question here. Please answer. You only have to tick the right band. Don't want to disclose your exact stipend to us. Wow, all right. Interesting.
70,000.
Not bad. Not bad. You don't think it's a perfect curve? Almost a perfect curve. What can you recall? What was the percentage? You know, when we're looking at expectations, wasn't the percentage highest at the middle again? You know, 25 to 50,000, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So is this an indication that more or less people are earning as per their expectations? Yeah.
Almost.
Are you all earning as per the expectations that we've set for you? I mean, the slide in the background, please have that in mind. I think you give them about 10 more seconds. So this is your current stipend level. I think that's it. Stop. Okay, share the results. All right, very interesting. There are about 14% who are earning below 10,000. Guys, wake up. You need to do something better. If you're students, fine. I think that's a good start. But, I mean, remember, the stipend levels, for people within the 3 years training period. Keep an eye on that. Those who are between 10,000 and 25,000, 30% of them, I think the message for them is, again, if you are, in the first 3 years of your training, in the first and second year of your training, fine. I think third year of your training, you should be aiming at 25 to 50 minimum, 25 to 50. Better if it is closer to 50, not as good if it's close to 25. 16% earning between 50 and 70,000, bingo. I think you're doing a good job. You're already probably at the edge of finishing your 3-year practical experience. You are doing good, but you need to continue to do good as well. 7%, I'm sure it's effort in addition to luck as well, right? But please make sure that you stay ahead of the curve as well. Fantastic. But in all, please get this message that there are people who may be earning better than you, and only you know this, okay? And only you will know this. There are people who are ACCA affiliates and students, and they are in the final 2 bands, 50,000 to over 70,000, right? So if there are people earning at that level, what are the skill sets that they possess that you don't, which is causing you that damage? Try to get over it and try to get into those base skills. Next, please. Can you have it for members also? Now the next question is for members only, please. Only members respond. All right, members. I can't give you 1.5 minute, 1 minute only. Only the members present in the call. I think those members already there responding. Oh wow.
7.
Not bad.
7.
Not bad. This just goes to demonstrate, goes to show that there are members who are drawing that kind of salary, which means they have tailored their careers very well. 20 seconds. All right, I think of course, this is to be correlated with the years of experience also. Let's share the results. This is to be correlated with the number of years of experience also. So I would say if you're a fresh starter earning below 75, I think you are marginally there, but you need to up your game. If you're and there are 42% people who said they're earning between 75 and 250,000. I think very well, but provided you are within the 5 years of your post membership, yeah, and 17% drawing more than 750,000 rupees a month, fantastic. I think hats off to you guys. Do share your expertise with others and what do they need to do in order to get to the same salary levels. But again, the message for the rest of the members, there are members with certain skill set who are drawing who are in the final band of the salary scale. You should make an effort to do the same. Okay. Numbers of years of experience also, can we have that question? Yeah, let's roll it out.
For
Students,
Is
it for members
Is
only?
this for members or students?
No. Students and members both, because it says less than 3 years.
Less than 3 years.
So let's look at the split.
So people having more than 7 years of experience must be earning about 750,000.
I don't know. We can't correlate it right now unless we see the answers in detail. But with the direct correlation,
Is it the same guess that they were?
yeah, it could be a wise guess saying that people with more than 11 years of experience or 7 years of experience
And
will be the ones.
multiple qualifications.
I don't know.
Maybe ACA,
By the way,
ACA from ICAP.
No, I think that's a factor that only exists in Pakistan. And when we speak with our British counterparts, they would be amazed at why would people want to stack up qualifications. So
That's true.
why would you become a doctor twice? Why would you want to do your engineering degree twice? But then as an accountant, you would want to stack up unless you know that additional qual, like you said, you would want to do CISA, enterprise system audit.
It is related to system audit.
System audit, right? So unless you are getting into specialization, you know, diversifying into a specialization, unless you're looking at, let's say, CFA, right, which is again become a partner ACC organization. So unless you're looking into specializations, fine. But why would you stack up to
So this is
professional
basically
accounting qualifications just the same?
My piece has,
Sorry.
my teacher was first the ACC, then he did ACA, and now he's working as a chief internal auditor in Sapphire.
Let's not share personal information. But then the thing is,
Was it?
let's not name individuals, please. Let's not name individuals. The thing is, I have seen this trend in Pakistan. I mean, I know an individual, a good friend of mine, who's also your MNP chair. I'm sorry I'm naming individuals, but just because he's a profile that we normally project, I think his stack of qualification goes into about a paragraph and a half. So, yeah, but I think some people just have the knack for it. But I think professionally, if you've done well, you know, after your qualification and you've looked at specialization and you've topped up your qualification with a, you know, with a portfolio for your speciality particularly, that's perfectly fine. But stacking up 2 MBBS degrees, I don't know why would you do that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Hide these, and then move on to the next slide. I think the last slide effectively, and that is again a very important message, a message that I want all of you to take back with you at the end of today's session. How much time do we have? About, we have time for question and answers, yes?
40 minutes.
About 40 minutes for question and answers.
We have half
We'll
an
go
hour
on to 6 o'clock, so we have 40 minutes exactly. All right. So I think last slide, and then we will open the floor for question and answers. All right. This is a benchmark of different skills for new ACCA members. So ACCA members who are 2 years, 3 years, 4 years into their membership, please look at it from an evaluation perspective. Do you have these skills within you or not? Right? If you don't have these skills within you, you need to, you know, immediately take an action to acquire them. ACCA students and affiliates who are now heading towards their membership, they look at it from an ambition perspective, right? So see that you need to acquire these skills. Number one, behavioral framework, and this comes after a lot of research and talking to different employers. This is what they say they want to see in their accountants. First of all, first and foremost is acting ethically and legally. Right? The first and foremost criteria. Number two, employers need members to be proactive, which is what, I mean, which is about the story that I told you about packages. Proactively coming forward, telling you about, hey, this is what's going to happen. This is how business is going to be affected. This is what we need to do. That's proactivity. Commercially aware, very important. I think 10 years ago, ACCA said that a CFO cannot be cut off from the business. The CFO cannot be lost in his own world of number crunching. The CFO has to know the business, right? Today we are saying accountants have to be commercially astute as well. They have to know the dynamics of the business, right? If they don't, you know, race for relevance, remember. Exercise professional control, organized and aware. So this is the behavioral framework. Competency-wise, professionalism and ethics once again. Employers want people to possess leadership and management skills. Strategy and innovation, very important. I said that louder. Stakeholder relationship management. You know who your business stakeholders are and know how to interact with them. Management, how to manage your work, day-to-day routine. Governance, risk and control, plus A specialization in any two of the following, one is not enough, at least in any two of the following: corporate reporting, financial management, taxation, audit and assurance. Pick up two of them, okay, and make sure that you have an expertise in them. Okay. Other skills and personality trait, again, very, very important. I mean, if you can take a picture of this, so you can put this somewhere around your desk or your workstation, and this should be really, really assuring. So self-assured, they're self-assured, they're always well-dressed and well-groomed, they're responsible and credible, they're punctual, highlighting, they're punctual, they have a research capability, very, very important, social networking. Sajeev, quote unquote, says, your net worth is your network, or your network is your net worth. Works both ways. So make sure that you're connected, not just with the friends with whom you play cricket or basketball or hockey or some other game, but the professionals, the who is who in the accounting and finance world. Problem solver and decision maker. Okay, important, decision making, and not just making a decision of what to buy, what to put on, what to eat. Yeah, that's also important, but decision making regarding your business. You need to demonstrate that capability to your employer. Team player, not a lone worker. English language skills, which should include writing, reading, and verbal skills. Listening and retaining information. Listening skills, by the way, is very important. IT literate. I mean, if you don't have these skills, Office and ERP skills, we call you IT illiterate. At least IT literate, but if you have better skills, if you can have the skills to handle big data or analytics, etc., I mean, that's wonderful. And then finally, local laws. Very, very important. And we just figured out that even from the audience that we have today, there are only about 2% people who have additional skills in local laws. Okay, I think that is almost it. Last slide and a few poll questions. So start your journey today. Today is the day when you go back, you should feel that you need to have some goals in your mind, right? You need to know what are some of the weaknesses you've identified, having seen this presentation, right? What is the cause of you earning less than others? If it is skills or expertise, if it is those professional quotients, make an effort, acquire those skills today, not tomorrow, right? Because the world would have moved on tomorrow, like I said. I'm reinforcing that message. And when you go back, can we have that question, the poll question about professional insights? When you go back, I want you to go back with this determination that you are going to read at least 2 or more professional insight reports every month. At least 2 or more ACCA research reports every month. How many do you read these days? And as per expectations, I think majority would say they haven't even heard of professional insight.
And urge them to download the Insights app.
Yeah,
so it's easier.
Correct that. And I saw that there were some research reports that were not on the app, but they were on the website. So I think both would be good.
Yeah. But now it is regularly updated. It is now regularly updated. Also, accountancy futures go to.
Yeah, we checked yesterday. We will check again. Okay. So, 5 seconds. Close. Share. Okay, how about that? 58% say that they have never or they do not read professional insight reports. Thank you very much for at least telling the truth. I'm glad. But this should make you realize that this is one skill gap that you need to bridge straight away. Okay? When you go back home today, go and look at the ACCA Professional Insight section of the website, look at the reports available there. Secondly, on your Android and Apple devices, handheld devices, there are apps available by the name Insights,
Professional insights.
or it's just Insights.
It's professional
It's
insights.
Professional Insights, right? Go download that app. All the ACCA's researches that there are, that we can regularly roll out, they're available on your device. You can download them, read them, and then move on. ACCA, by the way, gets an update, ACCA officials, we get an update on how many people are using that app, how many people are downloading reports, how many people are reading the report, how many people are reading just the executive summary, how many people are reading the entire report. We have that complete visibility. There are many people who are reading reports, right? Unfortunately, from Pakistan, the statistics are that there are many ACCAs from Pakistan who regularly visit ACCA careers, finding jobs, but there are very few ACCAs from Pakistan who would go and read beyond the title of the Professional Insight Report. Right? So please, by the way, we get to know how much of the report do you read, how much time do you spend on a particular report. Yeah. So I think the first thing is that find if you've read the executive summary and if the title excites you, go through the entire report. And this report, although is very comprehensive also, but it's not the end of everything. I mean, there could be other research reports available on the same topic by other bodies, by other employers, by the Big Four, by other researchers, by the universities. So find out what their perspective is. Is there something that ACCA's report is unique in ACCA's report? Is there something that's unique in their report? Try to develop an opinion. When you get into this habit, you see automatically that the way you talk to people when you're networking, automatically, terms, ideas, they come into your speech. You start talking about these things. You start talking about what you've read, and that is what sort of gives a reflection of you as a proper, well-informed professional. Okay, all right. So I think that's all from my side. I hope you found this useful. Can we have the feedback? And at the same time, if you have any questions to ask, can all the 6 offices unmute their mics and see, not one, I think one by one, yeah? So let's begin with the Karachi office. We can unmute the mic if there are any questions that anybody would want to ask from Karachi. So while we're doing that, Khayyam, can you please read the questions asked? Let's begin with the top one. First one, yes. Let's skip the, okay. Let's skip the comments. Skip the.
Does blockchain have an impact on finance in future? Tariq Jamil.
Of course, yes. Of course, yes.
Not in the future.
It's happening now. Blockchain, talking about now rather than the future. So definitely yes. Okay.
Is recording of this program will be available?
The recording will be available, so you can of course come back to us. Even to the same link. And
why does ACCA not include IT related courses in the qualification now that technology has picked up?
Okay, I think that needs clarification. ACCA has made a revision to the qualification and Midhat has left. Okay, all right. ACCA has the relevant IT related content built into the exam. There's no specific special papers on on ERP and on programming and big data, but then there are contents included within the within the ACCA papers, different ACCA papers. And by the way, ACCA has recently also revised the qualification. Right? when we say that ACCA has now made all its fundamental level courses, I mean the exams for fundamental level courses available through computer, that means that ACCA has made that investment, making sure that at least the basic IT skills are available to ACCA professionals. Yeah. But beyond that, I think there is always a very, there's always an opportunity for you to improve your skills, right? And for that, ACCA does have its own CPD programs, right? Available globally. You could make use of those. Right? Those who have already qualified, those who have already passed their exams, can attend those CPD sessions and be updated with technology usage, etc. ACCA in Pakistan, for example, has offered trainings in SAP, in Oracle financials, in big data, data mining, and all. Right? So we do give our members and students this opportunity to sign up for such programs. Next.
Can I get the presentation slides?
Over the comments. Yes, the presentations will. Can we share the presentation?
We'll share the video which will have the
Yeah,
presentation.
which will have the presentation.
Gohar Riaz, hi sir, I want to know that what are the two main things which we should consider while switching the job? Please advise this, as there is big confusion on this in our minds, like whether we are getting reasonable increase in package and whether new role will be suitable for us. Should we go for it?
I think, Gohar, thank you very much. I cannot thank you more for asking such a good question. There's a blame put on ACCA generally. I mean, I will not say members or students. There's a blame put on us, and that is that whenever they get an opportunity to earn a couple of thousand rupees more, they would switch. And I think that's the worst thing you can do. The first thing that you have to think about is, are you employed in the right sector? Right? Is this sector offering growth right now? That's the most important thing. There are certain sectors, or there are certain organizations working in certain sectors which have an inelastic demand of their products. Fast-moving consumer goods, for example, right? Financial services sector, for example, right? These sectors are always going to remain relevant. They're always going to be paying higher, right? And probably unless there is a big financial turmoil or crisis or something really bad happening, in which case a lot more jobs will be hurt. I mean, these jobs are going to be more secure, right? So if you are employed in any of these sectors which offer services or products which are relatively inelastic, stick in the same sector. Do not switch over to a sector which does not, offer future growth, right? I know it's quite exciting, a couple of thousand rupees more, a bigger title, etc. It may excite you, but this is not a decision that should just be made on these one or two factors. It should be made on the type of organization you're going to work for, right? What is the culture in that organization? What is the turnover of employees in that organization? Very, very important, and a lot of people do miss this opportunity. What are some of the challenges this organization might be facing, right? What is the competition like in this particular organization or this particular sector that I'm involved in? Okay, so think about all these things, right? Think about, if you, let's suppose, in the internal audit function, are you going to continue in the internal audit function, or are you going to diversify or branch out into financial management or into another accounting related function, right? What was your dream about your job, right? So there is nothing wrong to be restless till the time you find the right passion in your job. And I was talking to a trainer the other day, and we'll hopefully be launching some sessions very, very soon about job changing strategies, how to strategize to change a job or to get a job. And I'm going to launch those sessions in the near future. And we were talking about the contents of the program, and the trainer made a very good comment. He said, we have to ask people this question: is your job your passion? Is your profession your passion? Because if it is not, you're not in the right place. Yeah. The day your profession or your job becomes your passion, you will automatically start experiencing growth. And not just growth in terms of, in monetary terms, in your professional growth as well. Okay, so very important. Thank you very much. Very good question.
Usama Tanvi asking, I am working as ERP functional consultant in one of the big four, and I am implementing various ERP modules to clients. I am not part of corporate reporting, financial management, taxation, or audit. My job is to map the process of client to new IT system. Kindly guide me. Is this a relevant role, and what will be career path in this field? What will be the earning potential in this field? Thanks.
Okay, I think this is a specific question, and this might require a one-on-one sitting. I need more details to find out more about what you're currently doing. What skills are you currently utilizing in this role? And only then we'll be able to give you advice. I suggest if you're based in Lahore, please fix up an appointment, come over, I'd like to meet you. If you're based in another city, let me know, and I'll ask one of my colleagues to sit down with you and help you answer this question. If you're asked this question, I think at the right time, it's good to get a good answer to it, so that you're very, very clear in your mind if you're heading in the right direction. If you need to realign yourself, I think this is the right time to do it. So Sergeant, you will have our contact details available. If you're based in Lahore, sorry, Osama, if you're based in Lahore, just contact the Lahore office and set up an appointment, come over and meet us. Otherwise, if you're in some other city, let us know and we'll fix an appointment for you in that respective city, and you can go and have a discussion about it. Next.
Sajid Zaman, majority of ACC affiliates and students are working in SMEs, and they are not ready to increase the stipend level as what we expect from them. And another thing is that SME are not ready to adopt advancement in technology. So the learning in this organization is less effective as compared to multinational companies, and you know that get a job in multinational company are very hard without reference. So how can we get our expected job in order to boost our skills and earn as what we expect?
I think this is a very, very comprehensive question, huge question, many questions within one question. I think yes, this is a challenge that SMEs are not readily able to adopt new technologies. This challenge remains there, but as long as you're able to demonstrate to the business how will the business become more efficient, how will the business be able to save more costs by adopting certain technology, I'm sure this challenge is going to remain there. You as an accounting and finance professional, you do have this opportunity for you, right? That if you have done a cost benefit analysis, and if you can go and sit down and convince your employer about adoption of a new technology, right? I'm sure they will love to give you an opportunity to go ahead and make that change in the organization. If at a particular time, and I'm talking about a very iffy situation, so if in a particular situation you're not happy with your growth, you're not happy with your learning, then instead of damaging yourself further by continue to work in a dead end, right, and continue to be blindfolded with no vision or no view of the future, I would say step back. Step back and look at your skill set. What do you currently have? What is the most sellable skill that you have? Right? Go out and start looking for opportunities. I'm not saying that resign tomorrow and start looking for an opportunity. Start looking for an opportunity wherever you get a better opportunity to learn new things. Please take that plunge. I'm sure if you're an affiliate or a student, you are in an age where you can afford to take risks. Right? Take those risks before you naturally become risk avert. Okay? There comes a time in a professional career when you would not want to take risks. So if it is before that time, I think you should take a plunge. Next, please.
Usama said he is based in KPK.
KPK, our Peshawar office, Asad and Mohammed Shahid. So both these people will be available. Can you contact the Karachi office, Peshawar office and speak with them? If these guys are available, probably take me on the call, on telephone call, and we'll be able to talk to you about your question also.
What is the difference between affiliate and finalist?
Finalist is no specific term and not to be used in Pakistan. This is a term that is used in ICAP qualification probably. ACCA just uses three terms. First is a student, number two is an affiliate, and we can club both them together. The third is a member. Students and affiliates are normally at par. I mean, there is this false sense within certain affiliates that if you pass certain papers, I can be called qualified. I can tell you ACCA can take a very stern view of this, and you should not call yourself qualified unless you're a member. If you have become a member and you're active membership, you hold an active membership, only then you can call yourself qualified. Other than that, you are an ACCA student or an affiliate who's still continuing to progress to complete the qualification. Right? Finalist is no term. Qualified is not a term that is to be used in Pakistan. It's students, affiliates, and members. G. Next one, please.
Last.
Okay. Any questions from the audience in Karachi? Can we go to the Karachi office, unmute, and see if देखिए हमने तो नहीं mute किया वो Karachi office. दोनों self muted है. Okay. Can the Karachi office unmute and see if there's a question? Okay, here we go. No, yes. Yes, question from the Karachi office? Question from any other office? How many other offices are joining?
We have Islamabad and Karachi.
Karachi and Islamabad, okay. Okay, any question that you may have?
And Mumbai and Peshawar too.
Okay. Email for asking questions. Gira?
Is there an email for questions? Yes. And they can write to our customer services at customer services Pakistan. That is
Customer services Pakistan. Can you type in the email address and send it to all of them? So we're just sharing an email address with all of you for customer services.
Pakistan, but there's an hyphen.
Afrasiab is trying to. Oh, all right. He's addressing questions himself in Islamabad. Thank you, Afrasiab. Thank you very much. But if you can unmute your mic, I think it'll be useful for other participants also. No, there's a hyphen probably.
That's what I'm saying. Before Pakistan, there is a hyphen.
Hyphen. Dash. Not minus, yeah. That is the logo. Islamabad boardroom is saying, please unmute me.
Before you send this, let me check.
Yeah, इस पे जाओ जरा attendees पे जाओ attendees पे.
Isn't it CS?
Attendees. Islamabad boardroom को unmute करें. Unmute. Yes, Afrasiab. You unmute. Yes, we can hear you now. Go on.
Okay, thank you. So there were a couple of questions. One was around, the practice side. There was a growth mechanism in the corporate side in terms of the slide as well. But when it came down to practice, it was stagnant. के आप इतना ही earn कर सकते हैं. So I was addressing that in the corporate there is a structure, but in practice में at times it is a training ground for accountants. So a lot of people practice and then they move on into industry. So probably maybe that's why, but if you can shed light more light on this particular aspect, practice में growth क्यों नहीं दिखाई?
I think you're right, Afrasiab. Corporate sector offers more opportunity. Practice, there are more challenges around being rewarded in the practice. Again, within practice also, although I know a lot of our students and affiliates will have a craze for getting into audit and audit in the Big Four, but I can tell you one thing: when we look at the Big Four, or when we look at the practice sector as a whole, those organizations who are only in audit and assurance business, they're probably only a flat line revenue every year. But then those who are into financial advisory, risk advisory, and other advisory functions, their real growth is coming in from their advisory functions. And this has been said on record by a number of partners of firms.
And if I may share, Harun, sorry, I'm cutting in, but it's relevant to the fact that you were talking about technology and everything, and it is reshaping the work the firms do. So firms, they are the audit function is being IT driven. So there are huge organizations and they don't need auditors. They need analytical softwares. So the growth side is in the IT side of the firm, which is more open and not the audit function itself, क्योंकि वो अब manual labor नहीं मांगता. It requires more system analytics. So the audit function is changing, and that is why the other functions are growing. Or audit फिर भी रहेगा, but it will evolve into a more systematic approach, which is technology driven.
Agree.
Thank you. Yeah. There was another question on the how we can develop ourselves in terms of ERP, IT. I mentioned the every academic qualification is not teaching how to operate in a software. That's the skill we need to develop. I, as an accountant as well, developed that while I was working professionally. I learned how to work in QuickBooks, Sage, Oracle, SAP. Later on, also picked up on IT as well. That I was talking कि अब audit file जो है वो physically exist ही नहीं करती. Audit file is on cloud computing, so on servers. So you need to know what is a secure server, offsite server. So these are the things जो IT की side पे आती हैं, and that is the term we call IT savvy. So it is literally used. मेरे पास कोई अगर नया ट्रेनी आएगा या आता है, मैं जब प्रोफेशनल अकाउंटिंग कैपेसिटी में भी आई यूज्ड टू वर्क फॉर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, आई यूज्ड टू लाइक पीपल हु आर आईटी savvy, क्योंकि उनको एक बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग आईटी की होती है. एंड आई टेल यू, मैं आपको पर्सनल अपना एक्सपीरियंस शेयर कर रहा हूं कि back in 2001 when there was even no talk about Excel or Word, I came from England. I was studying ACCA and I did a short course on Office, Microsoft Office from informatics. So that was my own initiative because I wanted to learn, and it really helped ke mujhe ye cheezein aayi. So you can take those initiatives yourself as well. It will increase your employability and also your chances to excel in the workplace.
True. I agree. I can't agree more. Very right.
Local laws. Okay, last question was on local laws, that what we can do. Again, Harun, I'll also give it to you, but just my comment on this particular part is that as an accountant, I did ACC, I never did Pakistan tax law. So there was a gap, and I learned the gap through practice and also knowledge gained through reading the income tax ordinance, because ACCA gave me the aptitude, and the research report or the reading material will give you the aptitude to read and understand. So when you read and understand, you can apply. So not saying कि it's a hard fast rule कि आप firm में गए हो आपको करना है, but if you have an open mind, then you can work. Even अगर ICAP body से या CA भी आते हैं, practical work is very different. So I've seen people who have evolved and became tax consultants. काफी tax consultant ACCAs हैं, because they had an open mind and they could understand what is the basic concept of tax बजाय rule के. Principle समझ के, rules तो change रोज होते हैं. No one मतलब जो tax expert है remember कहते हैं, even finance managers को rule नहीं याद होते. जी हारून.
I think Farsab, you absolutely spot on. I think the only thing I'd like to add here is that if you've studied UK tax, your background is already there. I mean, even after independence, the income tax ordinance is not broken away from, how British used to tax their system. But so, which means that you already have the basis there. It's just a good thorough reading, talking to a professional, attending a couple of CPD sessions, and you will be on the go, right? But then you need to pick it up from there. It's not just about income tax. It's about companies ordinance. It's about Companies Act. It's about the Code of Corporate Governance.
EOBI.
It's about the EOBI, employment benefits also, pension fund plans. So I think it's about the Customs Act also. So I think you need to be on top of all of these.
Yeah, and picking on what you just mentioned, Harun, I learned through tax commentaries. All the big four companies, they issue tax commentary. ये finance bill आया, इसकी commentary किसने पढ़ी है? Commentary में पहले summary होती है, फिर आगे detail होता है. It is a really helpful tool. Now it is available online. कोई भी आपको finance bill आए, budget आए, tax ordinance का change आए, कुछ आए, just read the commentary. It will tell you what was previously the law or the statute was saying, and now changes कैसे होंगे. So it was a great tool for me. I used to love that commentary and used to keep it. It used to help me throughout the year. The thought I am a tax expert. Even Harun was coming to me for an advice, but actually मैंने तो कभी पाकिस्तान law पढ़ा ही नहीं.
Fantastic. Okay. All right. Let's settle this afterwards. All right.
All good tax.
Sorry.
There's another question here.
All right. Okay. We have a few questions online as well. So very quickly, and you do any questions from Islamabad?
Okay, so yeah, what I can you can take questions online as well. I'll address them here one by one now.
Okay, all right. I'll take some online questions then.
Yes.
Muhammad Zishan has asked. You have already answered this. You have. It says, please explain what local laws we learn in order to protect ourselves as well as employer and work environment. What local law? I think we've already answered that. Hasnan Ahmed saying why ACC study don't focus on banking sector. I think ACC's study is not specifically about banking. It's accounting and finance professional overall, right? And cannot focus on one particular sector. If there are special training needs in banking sector, there are other qualifications or other top-ups available. And that's what I was saying. When you're specializing, having done your ACC, only look at, don't think about topping up similar qualifications. If you specialize, look for specialized qualifications.
The vertical,
yeah,
rather than horizontal.
Yeah, exactly. Sufyan is asking, is bookkeeping, QuickBooks for overseas clients good experience for PER? I think it's just one particular experience. It has to be coupled up with more things. So if you look at ACC's practical experience requirements, there are more things in it, rather than just bookkeeping. And I would say bookkeeping is one particular skill,
Very basic.
which is very, very basic, and it's going to be
Very basic.
It's probably going to be under a lot of pressure with technology coming in.
It's already under pressure through ERPs.
True, exactly. Osama is asking, can you suggest me when I start my internship? Osama, yesterday. Even if you're a student, there is no stopping you from starting internships. We often quote an ACCA student, a very brilliant ACCA student, who I think the day she became a member, she was appointed as, she was already working at Telenor, but she was appointed an assistant manager that very day. And we used to ask a lot of questions on how did you do it, etc. And she said, ever since I'd done my O and A levels, I was into internships. So all along, she was either working with Askari Bank, with Schlumberger, with various multinationals, continued to switch organizations doing internships. And number one, very big network. Number two, got to get experience of different organizations. Number three, got to a stage where she knew what her passion was. And right now, I think she must be sitting in Qatar somewhere, working again in the telecom sector. So I think that is, I mean, doing an internship is really, really helpful. Um, it doesn't have to be a very, very long job. It gives you an opportunity to, for your foot in the door. You get to know people there, and then, you know, you can look for an opportunity, whether either in the organization or outside the organization, you know, for another opportunity, for another internship.
Being an accountant, how can
Being an accountant, can I read it louder because people will be able to, being an accountant, how can we develop and groom our ERP skills? If there's any need to have a specific degree or a certification, certifications, yes. And when we talk about ERPs, we're talking about standardized ERPs and not off-the-shelf ERPs, which are, or maybe, you know, pseudo-coded ERPs. Oracle Financials, SAP, I think they are good ones.
Dynamics.
Yeah, Microsoft Dynamics, yes, but for smaller organizations, for the SME sector, those that cannot afford, let's say, Oracle or SAP, for them, Oracle Dynamics. Certifications are available. ACCA has recently announced a program with EXD in Karachi. I think Lahore is to be announced today, and Islamabad is to follow. Usman is asking, PITV is giving training on to PHP developers, IT professionals.
about
How they can
start
earning from freelancing. Currently, they are not training accountancy professionals. Can ACCA give such a training? Okay, I'm not sure if you as an ACCA require further training to start freelancing business. Upwork.com, I know so many members who are on Upwork and they continuously get work from there and they're continuously earning. So that's, you don't need additional training. Yeah. So please make use of that if you have to. Hassan Rafaka is saying, modern work routine takes about 10 to 12 hours of my day every day, mostly due to the technology, mobile working, and easy communication that makes my superior think I'm available all the time, whether they need me or not. I'm happy with my job and it pays me well, but I know it's not sustainable and a change is inevitable. How can we focus on developing new skills in this busy work setting to gain other opportunities in the future? Brilliant question. I think this mobile device is a very, very cunning invention by employers. Why did they so readily, adopt this mobile? I mean, just because the boss would want to call you up in the middle of the night and throw work at you, isn't it? That's very relevant. But, there are things that organizational cultures are now developing. I mean, different organizations are developing this culture of work and life, and a cutoff in between. I'm not saying that this could be implemented across board in all sorts of employers, but I think number one, planning better can reduce that burden of doing things overnight. So I think that's one. But the real question that Hassan was asking was, how do you get time to learn these new skills? I think that time, I'm afraid, in this case, will have to come from your own life, which is not your work life, but your own life. So weekends. So maybe rather than watching a TV program or a good movie, maybe watch a training online. Maybe attend a good training session using Udemy or Coursera, right? So I think staying at home, there could be so many things that you could do. This the professional insights application, it's so many researchers in your palm. If you're not driving, if you're being driven, or if you're flying, it's the best opportunity. 1.5 hour or 1 hour of concentrated, reading time. So rather than enjoying the entertainment channels on your airlines, of which we don't have many, you can think about taking some reading material along, and that's going to be useful. There's so many other things that you can do. Hassan, I'm sure that you will probably know better than me in this case. Saad bin Khalid saying, what is your suggestion regarding working in government departments? Okay, I think public sector is good, But my suggestion would be that get into the public sector once you have fully grown and you're mature and you're ripe for entering a public sector, because the journey back from the public sector into the corporate sector is very, very painful, right? So if you've made up your mind that you're going to remain in the public sector, the offer in the public sector attracts you, I mean, the job security and stuff, I mean, get determined. And if you're only determined, I mean, go on. But remember, the journey back into the corporate sector is going to be a little difficult. What is ERP? The Zanfara Sabine. I think good question. Anybody in the audience would want to answer that? Anybody here want to answer it? ERP.
Enterprise resource planning.
Enterprise resource planning, but what the
It is advanced form of accounting software. It generates lot many reports, provided how much.
it integrates many functions in an organization. So supply chain to marketing to sales to inventory to receivables to payables to it connects them all. Yeah? It's a huge software, enterprise-wide, right? It connects everything. Okay, that's a simple definition. I'm sure it's much deeper than that, but that's a very basic definition. I think just a few more questions. We have 5 minutes over, and then we call it off. What are your thoughts on
BS degree?
BS degree from Oxford Brookes University? Is it beneficial in your professional career? The BS applied accounting. I've come across many members who now have this urge of doing it now, and they can't because they opted out. Please do not opt out. If you're getting an opportunity, do it. Do it now or do it once you become an affiliate, but do not opt out. Especially because, I mean, if you relocate to Canada, in addition to your ACCA qualification, they require an academic degree. And if you have that academic degree, they give you an equivalence to the CGA or the CPA Canada, which gives you the right to practice and perform, to work as a certified professional accountant in Canada, and that's going to come in handy afterwards. So please do not. That's an excellent opportunity. Osama Tanvi is saying, what are the top 3 trending roles for ACCA in the current market, and will be helpful in future too. So, will you want to share something? Top 3 roles?
Taxation, currently.
Definitely yes.
And especially IT audit. By the year July 2019, in every commercial bank's IT audit, only IT audit certified will be working. No more other people will work.
Yeah. Okay.
So these are the 2 things.
Okay. Yes, good. I think there are a few others, but I think I would leave it for you to explore. Next question is,
What is IT?
What is IT?
IT audit. Okay, can I explain? Okay, information systems audit, as we call it. It has to. It's about looking at your complete information travel. I mean, the way information travels within your organization and audit of that. So, who has access to what information? Number 1. Number 2. I think it's about information being secured also. Right? It's data security as well. Right? That's one aspect of information systems audit.
System acquisitions, system development, system maintenance, all these IT governance.
Yeah.
These are
Exactly. So if let's suppose it's your data is being dumped in a particular device, how is that device being maintained? If there's mission critical data available, how is that data being backed up and
backup sites?
Exactly. So a lot of detail into. I mean, I think the objective of this is minimize the loss in case of an IT crash. I think that sums it all. So organizations get an IT audit done just to have a more reliable IT system in their organization. Okay, I think we are still getting questions, but Usman saying I also earned some money from Upwork. I think we are 8 minutes over time, so let's call it off. The final question, the feedback. Can we share the results? I think 14% found it excellent, 46% found it very useful, 33% found it to be good, 4%, I don't know who they were, they're not friends with me, and 4% just thought this was acceptable, but I'm your friend. Thank you very much. I think this was useful. Let's try to, do you think we should hold more such sessions to keep members and students up to date about the changes happening? So I think we can hold more sessions like these in future. Thank you very much for taking time out, 2 hours of your precious time. If there are any more questions about it, you can ask customer services or you can ask the Gear Up team, for specific answers. Thank you all very much and have a nice evening. Allah Hafiz.